What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a very spicy point of discussion that's been making the rounds in the Mortal Kombat community. The spicy topic in question is the identity of Ghostface in MK1. Just who is this guy? Or guys? Today, that's what we're going to try and find out. Horror guest characters are nothing new when it comes to Mortal Kombat. We've actually had a bunch of really cool ones. For example, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, your mom, and Jason Voorhees. We'll come back to the topic of Jason later, as he's pretty important when it comes to this theory. Ghostface is the latest addition to this wacky group of killers, and fans have been losing their collective minds trying to figure out just who these Ghostfaces are. Well, dear friends, I think I have an answer for you. Unlike previous horror guest characters, Ghostface isn't just a singular person. Throughout every film and TV show appearance, the identity of Ghostface is different. Think of Ghostface as a bag of flamin' hot Cheetos. The bag on the outside is always the same, but those beautiful, tasty little morsels on the inside all have their own shape and personality, I guess? You guys get what I'm saying. It seems like most fans are hoping for their old favorites from the films to reprise their roles as Ghostface, like Stu and Billy. Though, I think the chances of this are slim to none. The reason for this being is that the money required to pay these actors to return would not be worth the investment at all. The only time we would see their faces would be during fatalities or fatal blows, and they would likely have no dialogue outside of grunts. I mean, sure, it would be super cool to see Matthew Lillard come back as Ghostface, but in reality, this just wouldn't make any sense on any level. Just look at Dead by Daylight, for example. Instead of having their Ghostface based on previous iterations of the character, they made up a whole new identity and backstory. That's actually one of the cool things about Ghostface. He's very flexible when it comes to new stories and worlds. That's just one example of how Ghostface has been handled by other developers. But what about NetherRealm? This is where we come back to the topic of Jason. In MKX, Jason was still Jason, but underneath the mask, well, let's just say he looks like a guy named Bob that works at a hardware store in the middle of nowhere. His face was fully realized and fleshed out, but it didn't resemble any previous iteration of the character. I mean, yeah, you could argue that this is because we weren't really meant to see his face in MKX, but it definitely seems that at one point, the developers intended for it to be shown, seeing as his face is fully modeled in all of its bloodthirsty beauty. We really aren't even likely meant to see Ghostface's face in MK1, but due to how they've handled masks, fatalities, and fatal blows in MK1, it's a bit of a necessity. Personally, I think the Ghostfaces in MK1 will just be like average Joes, with a small backstory we'll probably get to see in their tower ending, and nothing much beyond that. However, during the combat cast today, we got a couple teases that these Ghostfaces could be a couple MK characters we haven't heard about in ages, specifically Cobra and Kira. Ghostface's moves seem to resemble some of their moves from way back in the day, but whether this is just a mere reference to the characters, or the actual identity of Ghostface remains to be seen. Personally, I think this could go either way, but I do think it would be super cool to see old characters we probably would have never seen again come back as a horror guest character of all things. It kinda works, but I guess we'll find out when Ghostface launches on November 19th. But what do you guys think? Do you think Ghostface is going to be reprised by a classic character, like Billy and Stu? Do you think they're going to be a complete nobody? Or do you think they're going to be something more special, like Cobra and Kira? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, because this is something I definitely want to hear your guys' opinion on. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. I'd really appreciate it. I've got a lot more crispy MK1 videos coming soon, so stay tuned. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.